Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I actually decided to do a little vlog and talk to you guys a little bit. It's Sunday, so I actually went to church this morning and Lord, I want to tell y'all what I learned. Hold on. I'm trying to make this like a thing where I can communicate to y'all what I learned in church today, because it's not often that, like, well, for me, being 24 and all the years that I've been going to church, it's not often that I understand what's going on in church. You know, I used to go to the mega churches with my parents. I've been to small churches. I've been to a whole lot of churches, and they don't always teach you, you know? They don't always help. It just seems like they preach, but they don't teach. You know what I'm saying? So the church that I go to now, my pastor, he teaches, and it's so much more helpful than what I'm used to. So I basically just wanted to come here and tell y'all about what I learned today. And well, you know, in a condensed version, because I'm not a preacher, I'm not a pastor. I can't tell you the word, but I can tell you what I got from the word. So that's what I'm doing today. So basically, my pastor, he read from Hebrews 2:1, and he was reading about dang, I don't even remember the people's names. But the message for today was about the drifters, and he was reading from the New King James Version, and he was just saying how, like, in that verse it says something about drifters, and you know, drifting is something like where you're slowly like moving away from something. Like if you're in the ocean and you're in a boat, you put the boat on shore, you get in the boat, if the waves are coming, you're slowly gonna drift away from the shore. Like you're slowly getting away from something that you're supposed to be doing, or something that you're supposed to be close to. So there's many ways that people can easily start drifting from things. You can drift out of you can drift out of old habits, you can drift out of relationships, and relationships is basically what he focused on today. So, like, of course, you know, with it being church, we're talking about God, and but he made it to where it's relatable for like everybody. And he's like, you know, your relationship with your boyfriend or your husband or your wife or whatever the case may be, it's just like your relationship with God. And the reason why most relationships fail is because they start to drift apart. And like the cause for that is because of neglect. And the crazy thing is like, it's everything he was preaching is just it's facts. All of it's just straight facts. When people neglect their relationships, that's when they start to not pay attention to each other. They start to do other things. Everything is not to where it needs to be, you know? 3 symptoms of neglect. What's the first one? It's a lack, what is this? Where am I at? Oh, it's a lack of priority. So just imagine if you're in a relationship, or, you know, if you're married or whatever the case may be, and think of it that way, and then think of it of how it goes with God. If you don't prioritize your time, prioritize and put, you know, the things that are supposed to be at the top of your list, then things will be chaotic. Things will start to go down. Things will start to change and to shift. You'll start drifting, basically, you know? So if you and your husband or whatever, if y'all usually have like a schedule and you start to neglect the schedule, you decide, oh, I don't want to go on our, you know, monthly date this month or whatever. I don't have time. I'm going to go hang out with the boys. I'm going to go do this. Then your wife starts feeling like, oh, I'm not really a priority to you. Oh, they must be more important to you. Like, what's really important? And then that causes an argument that's bigger than what it needs to be, just because you decided that you're not going to put y'all stuff first, but you're going to put what you want first. And that's basically how it goes, you know? Like, you have to have your priorities together. You have to know what's important. You have to know, you have to prioritize. Like, It's simple. That's the easiest way I can put it. You have to have your priorities together. What's important to you needs to stay at the top of your list. And then another symptom of neglect was like, what is it? Intimacy. And that works in both ways. Like I said again, you have to be intimate with God. You have to pray. You have to talk to Him. You have to spend your time with Him. And I know, like, that can be hard, especially for me, because prayer, it makes you feel vulnerable. Well, it makes me feel vulnerable. Like, it's like the hardest thing to do when it comes to religion is pray. And I don't know why that is, but that just seems to be the case. But I mean, that's something that can cause you to drift away from God. If you don't pray with Him, you don't feel close to Him, then you start to question Him. All of those things. You have to pray. You have to have intimacy to keep a relationship strong. And that goes the same with marriage. We're going to speak on marriage because, if we're talking about boyfriend and girlfriend stuff, that's fornication, and technically that's wrong. I mean, we're not going to get in that because I'm not a preacher, but I'm just telling y'all what I learned in church. And I mean, it's a really good word. Like, in a marriage, you're supposed to be intimate. You're supposed to talk to each other. You have to get emotional with each other. You have to share things. You have to be intimate mentally and physically with each other. And without that, it's like you won't feel close. You won't feel like, if you don't feel close with your husband or your wife, are you really going to feel like that relationship is going to work? You know what I'm saying? So you have to have the intimacy. You have to prioritize them, and you have to be intimate with them emotionally and physically in order for the relationship to work, in order for it to feel strong, in order for y'all to feel like y'all can make it through anything. You have to have those things. And the last thing that he put on the list was boundaries. You have to have boundaries. So say if let me think. Okay, we'll go husband and wife ways again. If your husband or your wife goes to the store and somebody tries to hit on them, and you're just like playing along with it, you're playing into it, you're entertaining the idea of these things, you're crossing the boundaries. You have to have boundaries. You have to be, you just have to know what's right and what's wrong, and just know, okay, I can't do that, because would I like it if my significant other did the same thing to me? So if you're doing things that you know you wouldn't be comfortable with, that's not okay. You have to set boundaries. You have to follow those boundaries, because if you don't do that, the relationship is not going to be what it needs to be. It's not going to be strong enough to withstand anything, and that's the same thing with God. You have to have boundaries. You have to know, okay, God, well, I'm sorry, I've been sinning. I don't know how to explain this part as much as I did the other ones, but you have to set boundaries, because if you don't set boundaries in your relationship, it'll fail. So you have to know, okay, I just can't be out here willy-nilly just doing whatever I want and expecting that, oh, well, I mean, it's okay. Like, it's not okay. If you know that you're doing something that's wrong, that's not okay. I mean, granted, we all sin. We all sin. So it's like, and God is a very merciful, forgiving God. So it's like, some things are hard to interpret, but right now we're just speaking on relationships and drifting away from God. Like, sorry if you can hear my windshield wipers, it started raining. But it goes two ways, the same way that you would treat a relationship with your husband or your wife, you should treat that same relationship that you have with God. And that's just it. You have to have respect. You have to have your boundaries. You have to treat them with the love and all of that they need to make a relationship work. That's just a little, what is it? It's been 10 minutes since I've been recording. So I guess that's like a little 10-minute version of what I learned in church. And I just thought it was like a really great word. And I feel like on Sundays, this is probably what I'm going to start doing, is if I understand what's going on in church. And this will be like my Sunday video. I'll come to y'all, explain to y'all, this is what I learned in church today. This is what I'm doing today. Maybe I'll cook or maybe whatever. But I'm thinking that this is going to be my new route. And yeah, so I hope y'all like this little video vlog talk through thing that I'm doing. I actually really like talking about that. It's nice. We'll see what happens in the future. I guess I'll see y'all in the next video. Make sure you like this video, comment down below if you like hearing what I learned in church. I mean, I'm probably gonna keep doing it anyways, but it'd be nice to know if y'all actually like to hear this. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to my channel, and keep watching all my other videos. Tell your friends to tell their friends, to tell their mamas and daddies and their uncles and their uncles, their uncles and their aunties about my channel, and let's help get this thing going. Yeah, so thank y'all for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.